Hey, it's Denise here from luckybitch.com, and I want to ask you, have you ever been tempted in your business to get a bank loan or a credit card to start or up-level some of your business? Maybe you've been tempted to put an expensive course on your credit card to kind of prove to the universe that you're ready. Now, taking on more debt is something that really scares a lot of female entrepreneurs, especially if you're not making much money yet. Well, this week I'm going to bring you some Denise truth talk about whether you really need a business loan to take out more credit or if you need to do something else. And spoiler alert, the answer is almost always something else. So let's talk about why, and I'm going to share 5 different ways to come up with the money yourself, plus an awesome resource that I personally use when I need to raise some big cash-a-rooney. Let's do it. Now, in the past, business loans were pretty much unavoidable if you wanted to start a business. Even just a few years ago, getting something like a simple website was really freaking expensive. So no wonder that most businesses couldn't get off the ground without a loan or some sort of gamble shuffle with your credit cards. But nowadays, not so much. The great news is that there has never been a better time to start a business, even if you have zero money to start it. With all the awesome tools available to us, like free and low cost, you can pretty much start or maintain a business with very little startup costs. And your costs don't have to increase hugely as you make more money. Now, you might be surprised to hear that I run my business in a really lean way, and my fixed costs haven't really increased a lot, even though I have $1 million business. So I want you to get really honest about if you really do need a loan or if you're procrastinating. Now, I've done it myself. I have been tempted to increase my credit card, for example, instead of launching a new course or doing something outside of my comfort zone. But there are lots of ways you can do it without getting a loan. So let's go through 6 tips for you. Tip number 1, you've got to embrace imperfection. Not everything has to be professional and sexy right off the bat. So when I first released my Lucky Bitch Money Boot Camp, I recorded all the videos for it on my iPad at home in the spare room. I had like a mattress behind me. It was dodgy. And I even created all the graphics myself, and I even did my first website myself. And on the blog, I'll show you some stuff. Did they look professional? No, they did not. But they did the job, and that's all that mattered at that time, because I had a big message that I wanted to get out into the world. So I had to make things really simple and focus on getting clients instead of obsessing about what hex color my website should be, which I spent months on. This is otherwise known as procrastinating. So stop doing that and just get some clients with the resources you have right now. Now, tip number 2 is to embrace the incremental upgrade. Now, I talk about this a lot in my Lucky Bitch Money Boot Camp because big leaps totally can happen, but most of the time you're going to grow slowly and consistently over time. So you don't need to go from like a simple free website to like a big $10,000 one. You can just take baby steps and start off with something really simple and then just upgrade when you get more money to come in. And then that way your profit funds your business, not your credit card. And honestly, if you get a loan straight off the bat to get this super complicated website, you might not build the right thing because at that stage you might not know what your clients really want. So don't do it. Instead, get in the business trenches and then just upgrade things as you refine your skills, hone your marketing, and importantly, as you make more money. Now, tip number 3 is to really invest in the things that bring in your clients and money first. Like if you're choosing between 2 possible biz investments, I always recommend picking the one that's going to have the easiest and biggest return. And that usually means the one that's going to help you bring in more clients, not be like super sexy. So for example, I don't recommend you really spend a ton of time or money like working on your business logo or your business cards or your website branding early on. And those things can be great to have, even though I still don't use business cards, but they won't necessarily bring in the cash and the clients straight away. So you've got to focus on those income producing activities and then just park the other ideas. Put them on a nice to have list in your diary in the future when you can fund them yourself. Now, tip number 4 is maybe at the start you have to budget in other areas. So you could free up some funds by maybe deciding not to do a holiday this year or say no to some other big personal expense so you can fund your business. And then you can use that money to upgrade stuff and trust me, it will pay off in the future. Now, I don't recommend doing this forever, or for too long. It's one thing to prioritize, but I don't want you to have to suffer or make yourself a martyr. But maybe you just skip some personal expenses this year so you can create an amazing asset in your business for the future, and it will be totally worth it. Now, tip number 5, obvious, but get into action. You might think that you need a loan, but in reality, you could generate that money much quicker from your actual clients. Like, create something. Write down your big money goal, work out how many of your products and services you need to sell to hit that goal. And Seth Godin said this, and I was like, he said, when in doubt, raise money from your customers by selling them something they truly need, your product. Rather than put big expenses on a credit card or get a loan, make yourself hustle to make the money. And then when you have that big goal and deadline, trust me, the adrenaline is going to force you to come up with creative ideas on how you can achieve it. And I can honestly say that my business has grown so much more because I had no other option. I wouldn't allow myself to get a business credit card. So that money had to come from new business and not the bank as like a saving point. And that philosophy has honestly helped me create $1 million business in record time. So to recap, embrace imperfection. Doesn't have to be perfect. Do the incremental upgrade. Invest in those things that bring in the clients and the money first. Maybe budget into some other areas, but get into action and just do it. Make the money yourself. Now, I have an awesome free resource for you. It's my famous How to Make Money in 24 Hours workshop. And I will take you through this exact process that I still use when I need to manifest money really quickly without going into debt. So you can get that at luckybitch.com/24, just the letters to the numbers 24. So you know what? I totally understand. Sometimes things come along and you think, I need the money right now, but it can be really tempting to take a loan instead of doing the work. So don't do that. Just listen to this really simple process, and I'm going to teach you how to manifest that money super quick without selling a kidney, without doing anything dodgy, and more importantly, without getting into more debt. It's a really practical process, and you'll feel really empowered to make the money yourself. And then you can replicate it for big stuff, small stuff. I still use it all the time whenever I have a goal. So make sure you listen to that right now at luckybitch.com/24. And remember, it's your time and you're ready for the next step.